All right, so for the past couple weeks, I've been testing out this gimbal right here. This is the new Hohem. This is the iSteady M7. If you guys recently saw my gimbal video, I did one on this one here. This is the Hohem iSteady V3. As you can see here, a lot smaller of a gimbal. And the reason why I'm putting these three up here is just so you can get a better idea of gimbal sizes, mainly because there's so many gimbals on the market that I just want to kind of show you some size differences here. This is the Hohem V3, made for, I would say, smaller standard size phones, probably like a standard iPhone and smaller, or iPhone like 15 Pro, which is the one I have here, and smaller. Then we have this one here, which is the new M7. This is a phone gimbal, but it's also designed to hold larger phones. And that's a common question I will get when talking about some of these smaller phone gimbals is, will it also hold like an iPhone Max or a larger Android phone? Yes, it'll fit on here. However, when you have larger, heavier phones, you're gonna want a larger and heavier gimbal, stronger motors to handle that weight. And just for context, this is the DJI RS4, and the reason why I bring this one up too is because there's actually a bunch of cool features and new features on this one that I've seen on the more advanced, higher end gimbals. Hohem has brought some of those features over to the M7. So in this video, let's go through all those new features of the Hohem iSteady M7 and also a couple of things I think they might be able to improve on their next firmware update or the next iteration of this gimbal. And the first one we'll talk about, like I mentioned earlier, is the size. As you can see here, there definitely is a size difference with the new M7 versus the V3. Now, of course, there is a bunch of new features on the M7 that the V3 doesn't have, but as you can see here, there definitely is a significant size difference between these two phone gimbals. Now, that was the size when they were open, and this is what it looks like when they are collapsed. Nice thing about the V3 is that the tripod legs actually are integrated into the handle. We're here on the M7, you actually have to take them off, so it is a separate piece. Now, a couple new features I saw on the M7, which is really cool, are some advanced features I normally see on larger gimbals. For instance, here we have 3 axes that are now lockable. So if you want to travel with it and you don't want this thing to flop around, you can actually lock the gimbal, which you can see, unlock it here. And when you unlock it, you can see it spins around. I can lock it, so now it locks in place. All right, having those locks definitely is a benefit. As you can see here, when my phone and everything is all locked into place, if I want to transport this around, it does not wiggle, but if I want to deploy it, all I have to do is unlock it here, unlock, power it up, there you go, ready to shoot. Another accessory I saw that they added to the M7 is this hand grip. A lot more steady shots, or if you wanted to kind of have this on briefcase mode, you're able to do that just by having a back handle here. You can hold the phone and the gimbal lower to the ground and you have more stability with this grip. And what's nice is that this hand grip also swivels out. So you just have to loosen up this right here on the side. And now you have a 2 grip system just like that. Quarter 20s all around the grip. We also have a cold shoe mount here, so if you want to attach something like a light, a microphone, shotgun, you're able to do that here on the side of the gimbal handle. All right, next feature we'll talk about is, because this is one that stood out to me the most, we have a detachable remote / screen that allows you to now preview what the AI camera sees here at the very top. I thought this is a really unique feature because it's not only just a remote control. I can actually use this to move the gimbal all the way around. I can use it to record, hit record here, start recording, hit stop, change modes, and the biggest thing is that I can tap into what the AI camera sees here at the very top. I can now see it on this 1.4-inch LCD screen. Now, what's unique about this is that you don't necessarily have to use the Hohem app in order for you to tap in and use the AI camera and the sensor. You can actually use the built-in, this is the built-in native iPhone video app, and it's viewing me through the camera here at the very top. And to engage AI tracking, all I have to do is give it a little sign, okay, and there you go. It is tracking me now just from doing that quickly, and I don't necessarily have to use the Hohem app. I'm actually just using the standard built-in video app on the iPhone. I can use this to monitor what the AI camera sees, so I can see it right there. If I want to hit record, press record, and now it's recording. Now, the one thing I did notice is that it is recording by pressing it, but I'm not seeing a record indicator here on the remote. And they did mention that that should be something that they should be able to fix on an upcoming firmware update. I just put my hand out, turns red, and now it stops tracking me. You can also do a couple things with that tracking. If I want to track again and I want to reposition myself, for instance, if I don't want myself dead center, I'm able to now do this. It blinks, I can reposition myself, do it again. And now I'm placing myself in the third of the frame. I can actually preview what it sees here. So now when I move my body, move myself or my subject, I just place myself on the left third of the frame, just like that. And then if I want to go back, give it the sign again, just like this, reposition myself, do it again, and there you go, back to the middle. Now what's really cool is that you can draw a box around a subject, an object, a person, and you can now track them. All right, so when it comes down to tracking, there's a couple ways you can engage the tracking. You can either use the Hohem app and draw a square around your subject or an object, and you can start the tracking that way, or you can use the AI tracker here at the very top. And you would normally use this too if you don't have the Hohem app. You don't necessarily have to use their app. You can actually use the native phone video app that's on your phone. Now what I want to use is the AI tracker here up top, and I'm going to use my Apple iPhone video app. So let's do that. Use that touchscreen, stand right there. I'm gonna draw. So now it is on you. Besides being an AI tracking camera, right here on this dial on the left-hand side, you press and hold it, and it is a fill light right there on the very front. As well as on a single press, you can actually change the brightness with this scroll wheel here. As you can see here, it does change it out, different colors. Triple tap again, and now you can change how warm or how cool that light is. Now, of course, it's not super bright to light up an area. It's really good for more, I would say, someone that's really close to the camera, or if you're just doing any selfie types of videos. That little fill light definitely helps out in those situations. And depending on which camera you want to use, whether it's the front or back, if you want to use that AI module, all you have to do is press these clips on the side, pop it off. You can turn it around, drop it back on top. So you can just switch it up here in case you are using either the front or the rear cameras. Now with the size difference, the M7 can take up to 500 grams of weight, which means if you have a phone and you want to maybe put other lenses on the actual camera itself or some other accessories, you can do that with this one, where here, you just wouldn't be able to handle that weight. Next feature we have here is the extension rod. This definitely helps out if you're trying to get some of those lower types of shots and you don't want to necessarily bend down. You can actually hold this out, extend it, get really, really close to the ground. Another benefit of this pole is that if you want to see a little bit higher and hold this up maybe above a crowd, you can actually use the remote control. Now what's really cool is that I can actually use the AI tracking. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to put the AI tracking right on the hood. Then all I have to do is walk side by side. The gimbal will continuously track the hood. I don't have to necessarily turn it. The gimbal will automatically turn. Now when it comes out to modes, we have all of these standard modes that you would expect on a gimbal, but what's nice is that we do have that large LCD touchscreen. Again, things that you would normally see on higher end professional gimbals, we have it now on a smaller platform for your mobile phone. First one we have is the PF or pan follow mode. Next is the pan tilt follow. So you can have the camera go point down as well. We have POV shots, so the camera kind of follows all the axes. And then we have custom, so you can actually turn on or off which one you want it to use. Whether you want to turn on the tilt, roll, or the pan, you can make a custom one here. Next feature we have is joystick and joystick speed. All you just click that, you're able to change the speed of the joystick. I like mine really, really slow, so mine are set to 2. You can adjust those joystick settings here on the back of the screen. Next feature we have is the follow speed. So for me, if I like to follow people, I'll just keep it in that slow mode. The gimbal will react a little bit slower to those subjects. If you're trying to record like a car coming by or people running, you're gonna want that gimbal to react a lot quicker. This is the fast mode, and this is what it looks like in slow. Now, one really cool feature I saw on the M7, which I haven't really seen on too many other gimbals. Actually, I don't know if I've seen on another gimbal yet. But what's nice is that with the motor here in the very front, sometimes with cameras like this, if you're in the very, very widest field of view, you might see that motor here. Or if you're hooking up your camera with a bunch of different lens attachments, you will definitely need that room here at the very front. All right, so shooting at this angle right now, especially when I'm shooting with the extension pole, as well as I'm also shooting down, I can actually see the motor in my shot. That motor, because it's in the very front here, let me actually turn off my tracking. And the motor is in the front. And when I'm in that super wide view, I can actually see my motor in it. So what I want to do now is press this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the motor is going to switch to the back. And now when I get those super wide views, also when I'm pointing down,
I'm not going to see that motor in the shot anymore. So let's try that again.
Now, as far as battery life, it is rated for 12 hours of use, but the one thing I do like is that they include this little cable here, and all you do is hook it up to your iPhone. Well, I have the USB-C port. They have an extra USB-C port here at the very bottom. Simply plug it in there, and now the gimbal will actually charge your phone.
Now, one thing I did notice here is that you aren't able to easily go from horizontal to a vertical shot. You have to physically turn off the motor of the gimbal, or turn off the gimbal, and then you have to manually rotate this. Now, one way you can do it, even though it's not the best way, because if you want to go into something like a selfie, you're not really able to do that. But you can turn the gimbal and go into like a flashlight mode. So if I were to turn it, that is the only way you can go vertical, is either you have to manually twist the camera phone bracket here, put it vertical, or you can do it like this, which is more of a flashlight style. So if I wanted to get some vertical shots, I am still able to do that just like this. However, like I said, it's not as easy as like some of the other smaller gimbals where it'll automatically just twist and turn.
And there it is, guys, some of the main features of the new Hohem iSteady M7 phone gimbal. Hohem definitely has a bunch of different gimbal size options for you, whether you have a smaller phone or even a larger camera. I'll make sure the price and all the links, of course, to all these products will be listed down below in the video description. And a huge thanks to Hohem for sending these out to test. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. This is Ultra Stacio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.